going on, everybody? Manny Reads Comics here with Frank's Comic Books to help me with the Sinister War #2 here. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So he helped me out with #1, so make sure you go check out that review if you haven't, one, read that book, or two, you haven't seen that review. It was a good review. We both ended up liking it. I think he liked it more than I did, unfortunately. but uh, but no, he's back. So um, let's just get started, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right. So book opens up. Well, before we get started, let's talk about this cover here. What did you think of the A cover?
the A cover, I thought I liked it. It was cool. Who was it? Bagley, right? He was the
I don't know to tell you the truth.
um
It does look like Bagley, but you know what?
yeah, right.
Let me while you're talking, I will look this up. See what happens. But what do you think of it?
I think it's cool, like the style, how each cover it shows like more and more people who are, I guess, ganging up on him.
Yeah, true.
First cover, it shows it shows a certain page of villains, and then the next one, more villains. So it just seems like it's endless waves of villains on the cover, which it's kind of how the story is going. Well, at least how two went. Just kind of like endless waves of them. So
I should
I
have
thought appropriate.
I should have known who the cover artist was. It's Brian Hitch, and
Ah,
so Brian Hitch, I first like I'm sure I saw him a couple of other issues or something, but I first like realized who he was. Like started seeing him coming back and back again when he did a short run with Justice League in the Rebirth era, and I hate his I hate his art, man. Like it's not horrible or anything like that. It's something about the faces, like especially in this one, like Doc Ock's face.
yeah,
Um,
it was a little weird.
I just don't like it. And like in the Justice League one, it was worse. It was a lot worse. So I feel bad. I always feel bad talking about someone, an artist, but I just don't like it. And I was gonna say the same thing about this. I didn't like the A cover. I didn't have a great A or B cover like I did with the Sinister War #1.
Hmm.
You know, but I do like what you're saying. How it does have all the different villains that he's facing, and it is kind of showing how uh, dangerous it is for Peter right now.
Yeah, so I really like how they threw that in because I'm not sure if you read the whole runs up. So you read the Hunted storyline and
Yeah,
how it
it's
kind of gave like um origin on like his family and like how they were raised, and then how like his daughter didn't agree with how he went about raising like the boys, and then she left for New York,
so
and then
okay. I'm glad you bring that up because I completely forgot if she's been
yeah,
introduced or not. I was like, man, I don't know if we've seen her. Is this a first
yeah,
appearance here? Okay, so she
yeah,
was introduced.
yeah, because I read the Hunted of the storyline and I really liked it. I thought it was cool, and I remember at the beginning of it, it like at the beginning of of the arc, it showed like Craven and his family, and I guess like when his children were kids, and it showed like how they grew up and how he taught them to survive and hunt and
Right.
do all the stuff that he does, and then down to where him and his daughter like how they did agree on certain methods, like things that he would make the boys do, and then she was kind of disgusted by it, so
Hmm.
she left and she was like, I'm going to New York, I'm not gonna participate in this, and then she left, and then boom, it was kind of left there, like, all right, at the time just like, and then now to see her, and the minute that I saw her on that page, I'm just like, oh, that is crazy, like that's so cool, because Spencer kind of teased us with it, like, okay, like he had, all the boys and a girl, and then she just leaves for New York. It seems like at the time it seemed like an insignificant character, like
Right.
introduced, and then and cool, boom, he literally reached in his bag and he threw her in to complete the Syndicate Six
It
because
looks
they
like
were
it looks like that's his thing. Like where he is doing pretty well in the fact that he sets off these little things, like all these little breadcrumbs, I guess, and then he does come back and pick them up. I think the next thing that's going to come up, either in Sinister War number 3, 4, or 5, is the chameleon stuff. I was telling you, like, the chameleon stuff, he left it open. There's no way that he's going to leave it open the way he did. So I'm pretty sure it's going to come back.
Because literally, he started that and just stopped it, and like it literally had nothing to do with really anything Kindred related or on the like basis story. Like it was just like, hey, here's this, you know. And I guess it was like, you know, cool read, but I mean even the whole story behind that was like he told Peter's sister, "Oh, are you real or are you a clone?" And it was just like it wasn't.
It's gonna come back.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, also it was cool. I mean, like, the whole feel of the book was it would show you what's currently going on, and then it would have like a flashback to how that transpired. Like, you know,
right.
throughout the
so
book.
before we get into all that, let me start the recap so we can get there like gradually. You know what I mean? Because you're right. That is one thing that as soon as I noticed, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But,
cool, right? It's like a movie type feel.
Right. So starting off, the book does start off with Kindred talking to Otto, and he's like telling him like how life isn't fair, life is a cycle, and all these things, and he's kind of taunting Otto, and I guess it does. I wonder if Otto does remember being because I know he doesn't remember being Spider-Man or anything like that.
Huh.
But I wonder if he remembers that he wasn't himself for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And then it just, you know, like it's just like a little quick page of him talking to Otto, and then Spider-Man is fighting Foreigner's crew. And Foreigner, to remind you, Foreigner's crew is Foreigner, Taskmaster, Jack-O-Lantern, Chance, Black Ant, and Slide. I'm surprised that Slide is fighting because it's like, yeah, he's there to get paid. And and last that he checked, Foreigner has nothing in his bank account, and they even talk about that, you know. So he's kind of just working on faith at the moment. But so Spider-Man's doing his usual jokes, but he is worried at this moment. He's like, man, there's too many people. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. But he does make his jokes, and then he trips up, and Foreigner is about to kill him. And right, this is what you were talking about. Right before Foreigner does like the whole kill shot, there's a flashback, and in that flashback is where they talk about you know, Foreigner not having money at the moment, but soon he'll have all the money. He can do everything he wants. They were stopping a truck, and who knows what was inside that truck, but when they opened it, it was a portal that Kindred had opened, and and Kindred just pulls all of them, the whole team pulls them through that portal, and then that's it, right? And then as Foreigner is about to do the kill shot again, Overdrive's team shows up, and that was interesting. What do you think of Overdrive's team? Before you get there, Overdrive's team is Overdrive, Hydro Man, Shocker, Speed Demon, and Boomerang. What do you think of that?
His team is all right. You know, I mean,
you didn't like it?
Like my least interested like group. Like it's like all right.
They don't have a name. That's the thing.
No,
they don't have anything.
It's just an assembled group. But I mean, yeah.
So
it's it's whatever.
So with the same thing with them, like they do get a whole flashback of how they got caught as well, or how they got brought in
at the bar
by Kindred at the bar. Yeah, as soon as they hit all the recruitments, as soon as Overdrive made his team, they got recruited. So I wonder if it was always Overdrive's intention to work with Kindred, or if his plan was to get this team together to save Carly. Remember, because he is trying to find Carly. He's working with MJ. So I don't, at least with Overdrive himself, Overdrive and Boomerang maybe, because Boomerang is all sad about the fact that he betrayed Spider-Man, right?
Right.
So like I think those two are gonna like capture Spider-Man and help him out so they can save Carly. But everybody else is there. It's like, yeah, let's kill Spider-Man, right? You know, and we get Hydro Man and Shocker. They reveal their new team attack, which is like the Hydro Electric Damned. And basically it's just Hydro Man getting everybody wet, and Shocker
shocking them.
Shocking them. Like that's not that smart, man. It's
basic.
Common. It's basic, exactly. But so now this is the second time we get that flashback. Now it's starting to look like Kindred is rounding up these guys. now the Sinister Syndicate arrives, and that's Beetle, Scorpia, White Rabbit, Lady Octopus, Electro, Trapster, and then we get a seventh member, which is who you were talking about, the daughter of Craven. I don't know what to call her, Lady Craven. I don't know.
Craven.
Yeah,
Craven.
Craven. You know, just leave it at
The
Craven.
sons are called Craven too, so
That's true. That's true. No, but they show up. Their flashbacks talking about how we don't need a seventh member because
yeah,
like they don't want to look weaker than the other groups and stuff. And it was a pretty funny flashback. Honestly,
yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was like it's not all serious, you know.
Mm.
And but then again, Spider-Man is starting to get overwhelmed because this I did the math and it's about 30 villains showed up, man. Like that's a lot of people around. Um, Again, we see Craven in that flashback. Kindred is pulling them and recruiting them, and then we do finally see what he's up to. He put every single one of them in a cell, and they're all together, and they all are about to like get into each other's throats and stuff. And Kindred shows up, and this is one of the most, to me, one of the most badass moments because Kindred goes in there in a cell full of these people that want to fight him,
Mm-hmm.
and he has no problem. He just walks in there. He's like, "Yeah, I put you in here, and you're gonna do what I tell you, and this is the plan." And
Basically.
like fully like not like I would expect that if I did that with a bunch of villains, that they would show up and they would probably kill me. You know what I mean? Like they would all just attack me at the same time. But he's smart, and he implanted a bug in every single one of their heads, kind of like Suicide Squad. That's the first thing I thought of
Exactly.
was
Yeah, exactly. Suicide Squad.
was Suicide Squad, and so he's like, if you don't do what I tell you, this bug is gonna kill you. I can
Right.
remove it, but you're gonna have to do what I tell you. And so the objective is to kill Spider-Man, or he says kill Spider-Man, but I believe it was one of the Sinister Syndicates that said we need to bring him in either dead or alive. He doesn't care, dead or alive. Um, and then at this point, the Sinister Six and the Savage Six arrive. So now this is where I was talking about. There's about over 30 villains,
Mm-hmm.
and Spider-Man is just by himself, like so he doesn't know what to do. Uh, yeah, I gave this a 6.87 out of 10, and yeah, I just thought it was cool because it introduced a ton of elements. The setting the stage with all these teams was a positive for me. But the only negative that I have so far is that we still don't know what Kindred wants. Like he's over here saying like you need to repent your sins, but we don't know what he wants, right?
Yeah, he's still, it's still kind of being dragged out. And so, I mean, I what I think is, I think we're gonna get his reveal, and his real reveal, if it's whether it's him, whether it's like another version of Harry,
Mm-hmm.
like you said last time, or whoever, and what he wants. I think we're gonna get it in the finale, in Spencer's finale. What is it? 75.
I
So
think it's 74 is his last one. Is his
okay,
very,
okay.
very last one. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get it in the finale. But I mean, for me, I would give it a 7.5. I
7.5.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed kind of like the movie feel to the book, like as far as like the flashbacks, like
Right.
you would see them attacking, and then boom, it shows you a flashback of how they got captured. Like Foreigner School, like they're robbing of the truck, and then they get the doors open, and boom, kidnapped. And then Overdrive's School, like they're leaving the bar with no name, and they're all drunk outside, and then boom, kidnapped. And then other syndicate, the same thing. They're introducing their new member and all that, and boom, kidnapped. So I like that. I thought it was cool.
It's
It
crazy
was
how he knew when to jump in, right? Like how
exactly.
does how does he do
He's
that?
he's planned this, and something you said before, like I think this might play out two ways, and what you said kind of made me think about something. I think maybe while all this is going down, like who was it? Um, Boomerang. I think he's gonna try and redeem himself, maybe, and
Absolutely, I definitely see that
like
happening.
because he's so down about betraying Spider-Man to get the tablet, and all that, I think he's gonna feel like, man, you know what? I've done some messed up stuff, but I think this is my time to like vindicate myself,
Right.
to show that I'm not the same Boomerang and to show that I can change. So I think maybe something like that could happen where in a crucial moment,
Yeah.
to help or to be against them, I think that. Or what I'm thinking is Kindred kind of took them by force and said, you know what, you guys are gonna do this, or the parasite in your head, in your ear, and then you even saw everybody just like drop to the ground in
Yeah.
agony,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. Like he can control
So
when to activate it.
so basically, I think just because they're working for him, it doesn't mean they have to like him. So I'm
It's true.
thinking maybe at some point in the arc, they get fed up with it. And it's just like, you know what? Who are you? Like
That's
we're
true.
not doing this because we're your friends. Like you basically kidnapped us and said that this is the ultimatum. Like do this, and then I believe on one of the last pages, it shows Kindred explaining what they're gonna do, and he says, yeah, you better hurry up and do it before somebody else does. And then it shows Doc Ock's team. So
Right.
I'm thinking Doc Ock's team is his A team. Like
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
team.
Yeah.
That's the team that he's banking on. He has like a purpose for all these other people, and I think it's to soften it up.
Hmm.
Almost like some Sinister Six type stuff. You know how instead of fighting Spider-Man as a group, it's always one by one. I feel like he's sending out them to just mess things up and get it sloppy, and
Right.
then send in the A team to clean it up. And I feel like he's messing with Doc Ock because of what you said with the whole, I believe, Superior Spider-Man, where he put his consciousness with Spider-Man, and I
Mm.
feel like you said, like he doesn't remember what happened, but he feels like he can't remember a certain part
Yeah.
of his stomach, and then Kindred was just like, I can offer you, you know, what you're missing, or he said something to basically tease like, I can help you remember, what you're missing, like your questions,
Which
like,
I wonder if he
you know,
can, because Mephisto is the one that did that to him, right? Like Mephisto's definitely, in my opinion, Mephisto's definitely going to be a lot stronger than Kindred.
yeah, oh
So
yeah,
the fact that Kindred is saying like, "Oh, I can undo it," it's like, man, can you though? Like, can you really?
yeah,
Of course. So yeah, no, I think you got a point. Like Boomerang, even if he does do that though, in my book, Boomerang is not redeemed. Like he's gonna need to do a couple more things before
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
trust
of
him
course.
again.
Well, like he wants, I guess, like start to turn over a new leaf at that,
Yes. Yeah.
like try to change. But I feel like that could happen, or I feel like they're just like, just gonna be like, you know what, screw this, like we're not gonna take this. Like he can't take all of us down. They're gonna thinking there's so many of them, but I just feel like Doc Ock is his A team, and it's like he has them like twisted around his finger in a way, because it's just like, if you do this for me, I could give you answers to your questions. I could tell you what you're trying to find, and he wants, like, I guess, his memories of that time span where he wasn't himself, and I thought that was cool. But I mean, a couple things that I didn't like was like what you said before.
Mhm.
Um, one thing that I didn't like about it was, you're right, like we still don't know what Kindred wants, and we kind of still don't know who he is. So, but like I said, I feel like that's gonna be explained, towards the end. And I didn't like it. It just kind of left me curious, like with the whole Mephisto situation, because in the first one it showed Strange going to go visit him,
Mhm.
so like he was kind of teased, and then now in the second one it's kind of like no mention at all, so I
That's
guess like maybe in a way that was kind of a little letdown, because I was kind of hoping maybe I was kind of hoping to maybe see like a little like teaser, towards the end or something, like a couple of like panels
right.
or whatever. But
I feel like that's an issue that Nick Spencer has. Man. Like he sets a lot of things up, and then he does go back and pick him up, but like it's like we have to wait for him to go back and pick it
yeah,
up. Instead of just like having a good story with all the details and stuff that we need and finish it out.
yeah,
He's like, oh shit, I forgot about that. let me bring it back up here.
Yeah,
And he,
yeah.
he does good about bringing it back, but it's just I don't appreciate that.
Take a little time for him to bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
But aside from that, I mean, those are my only two real gripes about it. But you know, I I give it a 7.5. I
I,
enjoyed the action and I
7.5 is not
guess
bad.
and I guess you know like the backstory about how and why you know they're all coming
Yeah.
for Spider-Man.
I'm,
So it was cool. I felt like it was educational. You know, like
yeah.
okay, you know it makes sense instead of just saying, hey, you guys go take him down. It kind of shows why they're doing it. You know,
Right.
it's either that or die.
Yeah. The only thing that I see uh, against your the fact that they might turn on him is the fact that every single one of them does want to take down Spider-Man. Every single one of their I think they might make a joke about the Syndicate saving. Like they might have the Syndicate save Spider-Man again because they made a joke in there how like they've worked with Spider-Man and they've been seen
Yeah,
working with Spider-Man so many times
it was bad.
that yeah, exactly, they look bad. That might happen one more time, like
Yeah.
so I could see that happening. But all in all, like even if they didn't have a bug in their head, all of them together like that, I don't think any one of them would miss that opportunity to take down Spider-Man.
No, yeah, you're right. But then with the Syndicate, it kind of doesn't make sense, like what you said with maybe them saving him, because
I don't know why they would want to save him in this situation, but
I think maybe somehow, some way, it'll be explained because you know that the Beetle dates uh
oh yeah, that's right, Robbie.
Randy, Robbie Robertson,
Yeah,
yeah, the son, and he kind of wants her to change, you know, to be like not so bad, and she
right.
wants him to be not so good. So I feel like she's gonna like maybe you know like
That makes
if the
sense.
syndicate does turn out to help him out. I feel like the reason would be that the Beetle would be the one to be like, all right, come on, let's do this. You know, I guess maybe to look good for her boyfriend. You know, who,
That makes sense with the whole we were just talking about, the fact that what's his name, Spencer goes back and picks stuff up. Like that's something that wasn't mentioned since it finished.
yeah, I mean, and I don't think Tombstone's in any of these teams, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up and you know assist Beetle.
I would have been very surprised. But now that you bring it up, you got a good point. But I would have definitely been very surprised to see it. Like, oh shit, there's two
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
That makes sense. That's pretty cool. Well, let me see. I've pretty much said everything that I needed to say about this issue. To me, this feels more like a all right. We're getting into the story, but it's not gonna be until like 4 and 5 where it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I felt like this issue was more like in it was just like educational. You know, I feel like it didn't go somewhere. How do I say this? I feel like it didn't move faster into the story, but it gave you background info, you know, on like why the teams are doing what they're doing and what they're getting out of it, or you know whether it's an ultimatum. So I feel like it didn't move the story
Yeah,
along too fast, but nonetheless, I feel like
we got a lot of information.
that was given like you know like you have to know it,
Right.
not to know it, but it was cool to see like why you know like why they're doing it, you know, and what's in it for them.
And at the very least, we got like a list of all the different villains that are a part of this war.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, man. So you gave it a 7.5. I said 6.8. I'll bump it up to a 7. Like a 7 out of 10 is not that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, reviewing this. Um, I that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching and listening. See you later.